we'll get started here in a minute.
Yeah, speaking of Disney Plus shows, you want to move on to Percy Jackson?
Yeah. Let's move on to good old Percy.
Yes, so we have episode 7 and then episode 8, the finale, to talk about.
The finale.
So let's start with episode 7 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. So
Percy.
We'll give our scores for both of them and then we'll talk about them. So for me, I thought episode 7 was much better than the previous few episodes. I was kind of between a 7 and an 8. I'll give it an 8. Just because I really liked, well, I won't get into spoilers, but it seemed a little more close to the books, and also it seemed like higher quality. Like they finally seemed to be spending some of the money. It looked really good.
Yeah.
There were some changes to the books, but I don't think they didn't take away that much from it. So yeah, I thought this one was a good episode. Gave it an 8.
I agree. I would give it a 7.
Yep, I was between that.
I could be between 7 and an 8 too, because I do think these are better than the last few episodes. Actually, this is the best one probably since the first couple.
Yeah.
Or it might even be better than all the other episodes. But I'll still give it a 7, just because. I'll explain things later. But yeah, 7. I thought they finally. You're right. Looked like they're using money. It was finally getting somewhere different. Like,
yeah.
If you know the book, obviously you know why. But it changed it up a little bit. It started to feel like, wow, these last 2 episodes, to be honest, have started to feel. I almost wish the rest of the season felt like these last 2 episodes.
Yeah,
but,
I know. I agree.
But yeah, 7 out of 10 for this one for me.
Yep.
And then I guess I'll do episode 8 first. Yeah. So this one's the finale, and I thought this was by far the best episode. It's not even a question.
Yep.
I would give this. I'll still give this an 8. I mean, an 8's a great score, but like to me, it's on a 9 or 10.
Yeah.
I don't think this show is anywhere near that kind of level of a show yet, at least.
Yeah.
But this was a great episode, like an 8 out of 10 for me. I really can't say much, but I thought the action was good.
Yeah.
It felt intense. I thought some of the ways they did like flashbacks, I'm like, why weren't they doing this whole season to build it up?
I had the same thought, yes.
And then it's not what complemented the storyline perfect. But anyways, what they did in this episode was great. And there's some things like towards the end of the episode I really liked. Yeah, 8 out of 10, best episode of the season for sure for me, no debate.
Yep. I agree. I feel like I want to give this one like an 8.5.
Yeah.
Like I'm between an 8 and a 9.
I get it. Yeah.
Definitely the best episode of the season. So yeah, I'll go with an 8.5. It's still, okay. You're right. The series, it's just not at the level to getting 9s and 10s yet. But this one gave me hope that in the future it could.
Definitely.
Like I can agree. See a lot of the other episodes, there were some cool parts, but it felt like it was missing something, like the soul of the books or like the charm of it. I started to see some of those in this one, and it makes me excited if they continue to do it, that maybe they will like keep that going.
For sure.
So yeah, I'll give it an 8.5 because I don't think it's at that level yet, but it showed me that it might be able to get there.
Yeah. I agree. Let's talk about spoilers, though, so we can actually get in the meat of it.
Yes. So spoilers for episodes 7 and 8 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians.
All right.
Okay. So episode 7. So it started off, and they go into the waterbed emporium or whatever, Krusty's.
Mm-hmm.
And they did the thing that they've been doing all season, where they immediately just know exactly what's going on. So that I felt like that was, it still was decent, but that was probably my least favorite part of the episode, where they just walk in, have an exact plan. And because in Percy, in the books, I just feel like he's always just trying to figure out what the heck's going on and like reacting.
Yeah.
But in this one, he's very like proactive. I know what's going on. I'm going to do this. So
Yeah, almost like too confident in a way.
yeah,
But once they get to the
but yeah,
underworld or whatever, it
that's where it
starts
picks
to
up
pick up.
for sure.
Hmm.
The underworld I thought looked great. The
I did too.
boatman.
I'm like, finally, it's different. Like, like
Yeah,
what you, like what you said. Like with this episode, I finally felt like it had that magic of the book. Not
yeah,
just because they're in the underworld, but just I don't know, just the feeling. You're right. The first, I'm not saying the other episodes are bad, but you're right. There was something like
it's just missing
missing,
something.
and I feel like these last two episodes, it finally felt like I was watching demigods try to fight or prevent gods from a war. Like this one
Yeah,
finally felt had that big. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
yeah, it was just missing some kind of spark. Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, this one, I thought like Charon the boatman looked pretty creepy and kind of how I
Hmm.
expected him to. I thought that was good. Um,
Hmm.
Cerberus looked cool. I thought that scene was good,
Yeah.
barring one thing. You know what that one thing is from the Cerberus parts?
No.
It
A
was
refreshment.
it was
Refresh my
when
bit.
Grover lost the pearl. For some reason,
Oh yeah.
they
Yeah.
added a
Yeah.
pearl and then they're just like, "Oh, we lost it." So we're right back to where it
Yeah.
was. But,
Yeah. That's
whatever.
right. Yeah. Well, you could use mine. Okay. Whatever. That's not the point of that scene. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Yep. You brought it back up for me.
Yep. But other than that, I thought the Cerberus scenes were cool. The CG
Yeah.
looked
Yeah.
good.
Hmm.
The seeing Tartarus was really cool. I thought that looked pretty intimidating. Um,
Hmm.
and the scene with the shoes was how I pictured it. Him getting tugged into Tartarus or about to. So that was cool to see in live in the show.
Yeah.
Let's see. They were in the Asphodel Fields, and one thing I know they just don't have enough time. There's a couple of times where I'm like, oh, I wish this was explained a little more. Like Annabeth's regret holding her down in Asphodel Fields and it having
Oh
to do
yeah.
with her dad. Like that's never really explained.
Yeah.
And later on some other things that we'll get into, but like I don't know, there's just little things that I feel would add
No.
so much.
And I get what you're saying too, because like it's being so dramatic, but like you don't like have time like for it to
Right.
be dramatic.
Right.
It
Yeah.
almost feels like overly dramatic because you don't get that sense of like explanation.
Yeah. But I thought the best part of this episode was the flashbacks with young Percy and Sally and eventually Poseidon. Like I feel
Yep.
like that was the best dialogue so far by far.
Oh, I agree. Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was good. They're sitting in that diner,
Yep.
right?
I was like, why couldn't the
And then
rest of
yeah, that's right. Poseidon
this be
comes.
written like this?
I know that was maybe it's because there was actual adults acting in that scene.
Maybe. I feel like it wasn't even that like the acting was good, yes, but the writing was better too. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
the
no,
writers
you're
just
right.
didn't have faith in the kid actors, so they
Maybe not.
yeah.
I do think that actress who plays the mom, I like her. I think she plays like the perfect mom
Yeah, I think she
for
does a good
Percy.
job. Yep.
And shoot, the actor who does, I like the actor who does, who does
Poseidon?
Poseidon.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the flashbacks were great. The whole time, my kids loved the three-headed dog.
Nice, yeah.
My daughter Amy, she's like, "Oh, he's so cute." When like, and then they threw the ball, she's like, "Oh, he's playing catch."
That's funny.
Oh, Amy, she's such a girl, dude.
Yeah, I feel like that was supposed to be a little more tense than that, but I'm glad she
You know,
liked it.
she's making it cute.
That's cool. That's funny.
That's another thing too. What I've enjoyed about the show is like they're enjoying it too.
Yeah, I was gonna
Like
ask
my
you about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
my 4 and 3-year-old. Yeah, they're digging. So like it's a show where like I can watch with them too. There are some parts where it's a little scary,
Yeah.
uh, but like nothing like obviously nothing
Still
like
age
terrible.
appropriate.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like I have enjoyed the show for the fact that like they get excited every week when I say there's a new episode.
That's cool. Yeah.
But yeah, they love that part. And then how did this one end again? I don't
Oh,
remember.
it had a great ending.
I don't remember.
Well, so Percy talks with Hades. What did you think about the Hades actor? Because I've seen differing things online about it. He was kind of more just like laid back and not as like intimidating as some people wanted Hades to be.
I mean, I could, yeah, I'm okay. I'm indifferent right now, to be honest.
Yeah, I personally thought it was fine.
Yeah,
I didn't have
I'm
any issue with it.
I mean, it's just just one
Short scene.
episode scene,
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hate him or anything.
Yeah, and so then Hades tells him that Ares has his helm, or that his helm was taken, and then Percy figures out that
that's right.
Ares has it. And then the ending was him using the pearl,
right, yeah.
and then the like Ares just walking up with his sword and Percy taking out his sword. I thought that was a pretty cool ending.
Yeah,
It got me
that was a
excited for
cool
the next
ending.
episode.
Yeah, so this episode was like we both said, it finally started to feel like that extra oomph.
If season
and I
2
don't know if it's
happens,
because they were.
I want it to feel like 7 and 8, not like the rest of it. Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe that's. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just making excuses for them. Maybe that's the point. The writers or even Rick Riordan, the author, is trying to point out. Like, it kind of starts off as 3 kids on a weird. I don't know. Maybe the point was for it to get more crazy and slowly build it up.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the point.
Could be.
But the book did it better, though. You're right.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah. But the last episode was great, and like right when it started, it was great. I thought that first fight was awesome.
Yeah, it was. My only complaint was it was pretty short, but other than that, yeah, it was really
I knew it
good.
was going to be. You're fighting Ares.
Yeah, so like seeing Percy use his powers finally instead of a black cutaway, that was cool.
Oh yes. But I even like the way they filmed it was pretty cool. Like, it kind of had like that shaky cam, like it made Ares kind of seem intimidating.
Yeah, I loved Ares' sword.
And they ended.
That sword looked cool.
They ended it in a way too, where like there's no way a kid could beat Ares. But then like they ended it to where okay, and he just needed the first fight, not like
just the first hit.
Because I was wondering, I'm like, okay, this is the God of war. So like, and this is a kid. I know it's Percy, but come on. But it's like I was a little worried about that.
Yeah, it's first book Percy who's still learning what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, book 5 Percy. Oh, it's a different story. But like, this is like baby Percy,
Yeah.
So, but they did it good. I liked that scene a lot.
Yeah. And I liked that he bled the gold ichor of the gods. That was cool.
Yes, I liked that too.
First time seeing that, and yeah, that was a good scene. Short but good.
Yeah, good start to the episode for sure.
Yeah. And then after that, they go into the house and talk to Alecto and give her the helm. The next part of really note for me was him going to Olympus, and I thought Olympus looked amazing. Like
that's what I put in my notes. Like, Olympus is exactly what I pictured it.
Yeah, that's where all their money went, I guess.
Yeah, because I was worried. I'm like, oh, he's going to Olympus. This is gonna be so cool. And I'm like, they better not do where he just enters like a hallway or something.
Yeah, that would be annoying. I'm glad they didn't do that.
No, they made him actually enter like like it looked good.
Yeah,
it still like had that little bit of eeriness, right? It kind of felt empty.
True. Yeah, and like you said, the Zeus actor. Yeah, that's exactly what I want to bring up next.
Yeah,
he was amazing, and it's so sad.
I wonder what they're gonna do with. I know.
One thing in the books, like the gods look different all the time, so they can just like throw that in easily.
There. It just sucks though, because he was such a good actor.
He was the one god where I was like, okay, this isn't just a guy. Like, this is a god. Yeah.
And he felt intimidating. Like, the way it's cool, the way they have his lightning, the sound and everything. You could feel the power. It almost felt like a lightsaber or something.
Yeah. And Zeus was going to use that Master Bolt, which like is like a nuke, and he was going to use it on Percy.
And that was another cool scene. So their conversation was interesting. And then also, was it okay, so this kind of goes hand in hand with the flashbacks that they should have been doing the whole season.
Yes.
With Luke.
The Luke flashback was great.
Yes. So there was a few of them. And so like that one where it's talking about, like they actually mentioned Anabasphere spiders.
Yep.
And it's like, you're a spider, and big things to be scared of. The worst thing is to be like small and scary. So like I kind of liked that conversation. And then like as he's going up to Olympus and seeing him actually train, which is cool. Obviously at the beginning when he fought Ares, like, okay, so he's trained a little bit to fight with a sword, and
Yeah, I
there's
feel like
rules, and
that would have been better if we had it throughout the whole series, so we would have known
yeah,
that. But okay.
I agree. That whole and like not even just for like the training, but like the bond between them. Like you could kind
Yeah,
of bond, and then when the betrayal actually happens,
yeah, it makes it so much
it's
more
like
intense.
so. Like that's another thing I was gonna say. Like this is kind of skipping. Well, we'll get into that later. But like I thought the end of this episode I thought was great too.
Yeah,
This whole episode was really solid episode.
yeah, yep.
Uh,
This is what I wanted the rest of it to be.
yeah, and that I'll get to the end later. First, well, so Zeus was going to attack Percy, and then Poseidon is like, no, hell no,
Yeah,
and he
I
blocks it, and I was like, oh,
yeah, I liked that moment where he blocks it, and they're like, you could tell they're like evenly matched, and Poseidon just goes, "I surrender."
mhm,
Like
yeah,
he trusts Percy and knows what he's saying is true, and he's like, "I'm gonna stop this. I surrender." I thought that was a really
yeah.
powerful moment.
That whole scene was, I feel like a good scene because then what does Zeus say? Don't never want to see your kid again or whatever,
Yeah, don't let me see him again. Yeah,
and then Poseidon, his conversation with Percy, it was I don't know, like you could tell Percy like he called him sir and stuff.
yeah.
I don't know if he was scared of him or just like excited like that he protected him or called him his son. Like what do you think Percy was thinking in that moment?
He was probably feeling a lot of things. Like he's never seen this guy before. He probably feels slightly abandoned, but now he finally sees him and is trying to understand. Does he even care about my mom? Does he care about me?
Yeah,
He saw him stand up for him, so that's good. But like
yeah,
he's
to
been
like
gone,
Zeus.
yeah, to Zeus. So that's pretty
Yeah,
crazy. But like he has been gone for however old Percy is, 13,
yeah,
14, 15. I don't know. But
yeah, something like
yeah,
that.
a lot of emotions, I'm sure.
I thought, and that whole scene, they're talking. It's like, do you ever? What did he ask? Like, do you dream? Because Ares
Yeah,
said gods don't dream, and he didn't even say anything. Well, he just like cried, hugged him, grabbed the
I think
pearl.
he
And,
did say, "Of course I dream" or something. Yeah.
did he?
What he didn't respond to was, I thought he didn't respond to a question about his
Okay.
mother. Like, do you
It might have been
dream
that. Yeah,
about
yeah. It might have
my
been.
mom or something like that?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah. Because I
Yeah,
know he didn't respond to one question. I think it was about the mom. Yeah,
yeah,
you're right. And then he got the pearl or whatever, and then threw it on the ground and took him out of Olympus. But yeah,
yeah,
that whole thing, the whole Olympus scene was good. That's how I pictured it. I thought the actors were great. The emotion was there. And then they get back, or he gets back. Where does he fall back on the beach, or where's he go? Or was it no, or
yeah.
was it the camp?
No, yeah,
Um,
he goes back. He gets to the camp, I think, with the pearl.
yeah. So I thought this whole scene was good too, because then he's talking to Luke, and he's like, "Why is what's her name still here?
Clarice.
What's her name? Clarice. Yeah, why is she still here? Because they think she was the one helping
Yeah,
Ares. I don't know. It kind of plays out like, well, obviously we knew. I like the whole like I don't know. I thought the atmosphere of that final like the final scenes were so good, like
I
with the
agree.
fireworks going on
The
in the
fireworks looked
background, and
cool. Yeah, gave it
it
really cool
added like
lighting.
yeah, like when they were talking, like it felt very it did it's just that could have been a boring scene, right? There's talking in some dark woods, but
Right.
like with the lighting of it and like the celebration and like there's like no music and like we obviously knew something was happening, but I thought that was a really good scene. And the Luke actor I thought did good.
I feel
And I
like,
really liked
yeah,
what's that?
I feel like the Luke actor was one of the best actors in this show.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I thought he was really good.
Because it's almost like well, even who is it? Chiron even says like a little. You believed a little bit what he said. He's pretty much trying to recruit him.
Yeah.
Luke is trying to recruit him
Yep.
as an ally and not hurt him because he wants to take down the gods. Why would we? Why would we serve people that treat us like pretty much crap? They're
Right.
pretty much. Let's be real. They're pretty much bastards that live at that camp.
Yeah.
Like is what
That the
like the
gods
gods
don't
think of
care
them.
about. Yeah.
Yeah. Is Luke really like a bad guy? Teaming up with Hades.
Well, I don't think teaming up with Kronos is Kronos is
Yeah,
pretty messed
yeah,
up. But I
yeah.
understand his
That's true.
motivation. I get that. Like his
Yeah,
the gods screw them over constantly.
he's one of those characters where like he's not really a bad guy. He's just doing it for the wrong reasons, or at least doing it wrong. I
Yeah,
should say,
going
not
about
for
it
the
the
wrong
wrong
reasons.
way. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because yeah, I mean,
he's the
bring
foil to
Kronos into it.
Percy. Like Percy tries to go about it by
Hmm.
showing that like demigods
Yeah, that's a good.
are worthy
It's
of.
a good way to put it. Yeah.
I do have one question about that scene. How do you
Mhm.
feel about Annabeth being there the whole time with her like invisibility hat? Because I feel like that's a big change from the book.
Yeah, I actually, believe it or not, I actually think that works well for the show.
Yeah, it could.
I think as far as if you're thinking of like, we knew they were like best of friends. So like as a show and you seeing it like in this episode as this context, like I could see them doing that.
Yeah, my thing is, I won't get too spoiler heavy into the books, but like there's a lot of turmoil that Annabeth goes through trying to figure out, is Luke bad, is he not, what's going on? And in this, it's I feel like they're not going to do that because she heard him say that he betrayed everybody, basically.
So they could still do it in a sense of like, she's still like, he's not bad because he's doing it but he's doing it the wrong way. So they could still kind of play around with that.
Yeah, or even like, no, Kronos was controlling him, or they still could.
Kronos was controlling him, or like there's or even like, I don't know how he's doing. Like I get what he's trying to do, but he's doing it the wrong way, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's true.
But I get what you're saying too.
Yeah,
but I just think as a show, seeing it, I think it makes sense in the sense of like, I don't know, with the show and you have the actors and you're physically seeing it, you can see emotion stuff. So I get the change, but we'll see how it plays down the road and how that changes.
Yeah.
All I know is that invisible dang hat, man.
Yeah. It's a pretty good item. Like
it is.
It's pretty
the invisibility cloak.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of the Deathly Hallows.
Yeah. But yeah, and then what? Then they leave camp. Summer's over.
Annabeth's
it's like
going to
Hogwarts.
Disney World.
Year one's over.
Little Disney plug.
Can we see some little shorts? I would love to see like some Disney shorts, like some those mini episodes of her Disneyland. Anyways, but yeah, then they all make a pact, by a tree. No matter what happens, we'll be here.
Yep.
Next summer, right here. I did like it the way it ended. It did have that like bigger things are happening.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like the Harry Potter, right? The end of the year. We'll see you next year. Like I like that.
It did feel like that, yeah.
And then of course there was like the very end where he's.
Yeah, did you see the Marvel after credits scene?
I did see that, yeah.
So, okay, this is kind of a nitpick, but like they didn't explain Gabe very well. Like, why is Sally with Gabe? They never said, like in the books, they give a good reason. Yeah, it's like
in the books, isn't like his stench or something like that?
He's like the most human, and his stench of humanness, like overpowers Percy's demigod, which keeps them safe. Yeah.
What did her mom say? I'm with him for reasons you won't understand, or something like that.
Yeah, but then they don't explain the reasons. Yeah.
They never. You're right. They never explain. Why would you not explain that?
I don't know. Maybe it's a cut scene that they decided to cut, but.
Yeah, for no reason, because it's a 30-minute episode anyways. But but then before that there was a
go ahead.
Scene where he's dreaming.
Oh yeah, with Kronos.
Mm-hmm. Which I thought was a good little tease or setup.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they do Kronos, because that's one. Like, I love Kronos as a big bad. He's a great big bad.
Oh, I do too.
So I'm interested to see how they portray him in the future, and like with Luke, what's going to happen with that. I want to see that on the screen, because we never really got that.
No, that's why I'm hoping and praying this show had enough views to warrant like multiple seasons.
Yeah, me too.
Because once we get to that third, fourth, and fifth book, because like we mentioned it in the other reviews, like we've seen the second one in live action already. We've seen an iteration of the book on screen.
But there has been.
Third, fourth, and fifth book, we've never seen nothing, no live action, nothing about that. So it's like, I hope. And it would be so cool, because those books are when like stuff really goes down.
Oh yeah, it really kicks off.
So like, please, but man, I swear to God though, if they do get there, you better raise this budget, because they won't get away with like. I mean, I don't know how they would do it if they don't have a bigger budget.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's ways, but
like if it gets there, I feel like there's reason to give a bigger budget. So
yeah, that's true.
There's confidence built up there.
But yeah, I don't have anything else really. I liked it. overall, like as a series as a whole, I'd probably give it. I'm trying to honestly, if I'm being like level headed, I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10 as the whole series.
That's kind of how I feel too. I was thinking 7 when you were saying that. There's something there. It just needs to be brought out.
Like, yeah, it's not a bad show. I think it's an above average show. I think they did good service to the books. It was entertaining. The acting was fine. Special effects spotty, but for the most part, it's not awful. I mean, it's not like there's way worse shows out there.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like they need to work on the pacing and extended episode lengths. I feel like would help that. Not doing some of the cutaways, and
Please God, it's the worst one.
and just keep the spirit of episode 7 and 8 and the like camaraderie and the.
I think it will.
Percy being faith. Percy, yeah, I think they definitely could. I want to see it. I feel like
season 2, if it gets approved, I feel like they're going to be in, like, even the actors are going to be in their rhythm. It's round 2. This isn't anything new.
Yeah,
like they'll find their footing and the magic. Like, I feel like if they go to season 2, season 3, they'll start to find their footing. At least I hope.
I hope so.
But yeah, that's all I got on this.
Yep. Can't wait for season 2, whenever that is.
Yeah, probably in 3 years, because it shows 3 years apart nowadays.
Yeah, they're going to be like 19.
Oh, God.